Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another large block ship, and this one is very unique with its overall design, and it's called the Operant V Howler class destroyer, which is this glorious thing that I'm currently standing on. So this is a rather chonky looking ship that features one hell of a lot of custom guns all the way around the outside, and features both hydrogen and ion thrusters to push you around. We also have some fantastic use of our conveyor sorters, as you can see on the side there, just for some decoration. And it does have a tiny interior for you to walk around in, if that's what you want to do. So pressing F10 and find this in spawn menu, the Operant V is 2,932 large blocks, using pretty much all the DLC packs. And speaking of DLC packs, have you seen that new teaser for the next pack coming out? It has a giant bloody fan, I can't wait to get my hands on that. Yes, this thing has a little bit of information about it. Let's give this a thumbs up. Move around towards the very front, have a quick look around the outside, have a very quick tour of the interior. It's surprisingly small compared to the size of the ship, and then we're going to fly it over to where I have those naval mines from the previous video, and we're going to see how that fares with these custom guns. So at the very front for the Operant V, this is what we get. So we've got two railguns to manually blast your enemies with a window with a door and a camera right behind it to precisely aim at. That door is there to add a bit more protection to that camera, just in case you're getting a lot of frontal shots and that window gives way. Pulling away from that, moving slightly down, we can see one of many custom guns going to appear on the ship. This one is a autocannon gun that features 9 autocannons, which should deal one hell of a lot of damage. This has all been fully set up, so it should fire automatically once it detects an enemy, but we'll see that a bit later on. Anyway, if we look all the way up to there we go, that's the bottom of the railgun. Then just move around up to here once again and move around onto the side. There's an ion thruster to help slow us down. Over to this section, we've got a curved conveyor that comes across to our conveyor sorter, just for some decoration. There's a large hydrogen thruster with some fantastic block work just going all around it. Makes it look very snug sitting inside there. Right next to it, some more ion thrusters. Another hydrogen thruster, once again, has been housed very nicely with some steel blocks. There's some round blocks for a bit of extra decoration. A few blaster edge blocks here and there for, once again, some decoration. And then we come over to this part right here. So over here, we're going to feature even more custom guns. Right here's one, which is very similar to the one at the very front. We've got 9 autocannons. Then we've got one all the way up to here. We've got 6 autocannons. This one has a camera on it, and well, is ready to fire. Above there, we can see some railings to act as a small little balcony, as well as a small light coming from our passage, which is our way to get in and out. There's one on both sides, but we'll see that a bit later on. If we were to pull away from that, we can see another hydrogen thruster, another ion thruster to help slow us down. If we were to move around and get a better look like that, again, some fantastic use covering up those thrusters. If we were to move around onto the very side, there we go, this is the chonky part. We can see the side of our custom gun. We see some more great use of our blaster edge blocks. Putting my light on, we see some great use of beam blocks, breaking up all the steel blocks at the back here. Then move around towards the very back of this thing. This is what's going to push us around. And that is one hell of a lot of large hydrogen thrusters, one hell of a lot of ion thrusters, and it should be bloody glorious when we actually boost this thing around. Put my light on for the moment, move around slightly closer, we see how it's all been set up. Then moving all the way up and looking down, light turned off, this is what we get. We've got another hydrogen thruster, carefully housed by some steel blocks. There's a bunch of small ion thrusters to help us move down. There's an antenna, there's a cylindrical column with some interior pillars on top. There's some great use for our piston heads, more blaster edge blocks. That is where I'm standing, right next to some more ion thrusters, 2 more large hydrogen thrusters. Now move all the way towards the front, where we do have a standard turret to blast your enemies with. Over to there, we can see the tops of our railguns. That should come all the way down, past to this part, over there and see the bottom of it, with our custom gun right below it. Putting my light on and over to this part, there's our connected dock to up, and refuel it with hydrogen, refill it with ammunition, and whatever else you want to do with this ship. There's another hydrogen thruster, more ion thrusters, another hydrogen thruster. Then as we're to move towards the very back of this thing, here we go, another connector, and that's about it. So yes, there's a lot of stuff going on with this ship. A lot of different blocks have been put here and there, which really adds to the overall decoration of this ship. It looks absolutely bloody fantastic how it's all been shaped up, and you can tell a lot of time and dedication has gone into this ship. And well, it's now time for me to grab hold of my character and show you the interior. After that, we'll go through the controls, test flights, then move it over to the naval mines, and we'll see how this handles it. So coming up to this part right here, we've got a lovely hazard strip to let us know that this is the way inside. So now we can just walk along here. Here we go, a double door for an airlock, so we can just close that up, open this up, and this brings us to our cockpit. So we can see that our industrial cockpit to fly this thing around, with a few button panels around the room, and a transparent LCD screen in the middle. Quick look around here, because we'll come back to this later on. We've got a few other places to go first of all. There we go, that's what we see at the front and all the way around. These front panels currently have nothing set up, so if you could think of something to put on there, you can do that. As for the rest of this, we now need to walk through here and then just drop all the way down. Here we go, all the way down to the bottom. And this is what we get. So we're greeted with a few ways to go, where right in the middle we see a lovely fan. I don't actually recognise this fan, it looks very different. We see an armory locker around here, we see a cryopod, we see a little scanner, we see a lab table. And that's about it for this room. If you were to move all the way out of this and then come to the opposite side, then come to a little seat, and then got a weapon locker, then got a transparent LCD screen, a kitchen table. In here we've got a bed, survival kit, another bed, there's your shower and toilet. And that's about it for this section. If we were now to move out of this, there's our fan, turning around and moving to the left and right. Doesn't matter which door we go through, so we just go through the left for the moment. Now go and circle around here, drop down some more steps, and now we can turn around and go through here. That ladder will lead us up to the opposite side where we just were, but in here is our industrial reactor, and where basically all the gubbins of the ship is sitting. So we see some gyroscopes in the background. If we were to walk all the way around past this, we see then an air vent, there's a hydrogen tank, there's our jump drive, there's some cargo containers. Around to the opposite side, here we go, we see basically the same thing. Anyway, coming out of this and moving all the way back up, because that's pretty much it, unless you of course want to just jump down here, see what's going on down there. You don't really need to because they are just thrusters. Yes, we now come all the way up and now head towards the cockpit. So around here, through here, finding back where the ladder was, there it is, jetpacking all the way up. There we go, we now come into this seat and go through the controls. It's got a fair few to go through. Where number one's going to be for our jump drive, where we can jump 1,147 kilometers, which is pretty good stuff for such a large ship. Number 2 and number 3 is to change your jumping range. Number 4, 5 and 6 for your custom weapon controller, where we can now change what it's targeting. Number 5 is to make everything lock onto what you're targeting. Number 6 is then to turn them on and off. Number 7 is for your batteries auto recharge. Number 8 is then for our hydrogen thrusters all around the ship, turn them on and off. Number 9 is for your hydrogen tanks to stockpile on and off. Onto tab number 2, we then got a master control for our doors to open and close that. Very handy stuff when you're in a rush and just need to get into the cockpit and go. Number 2 is once again for your hydrogen tanks. Number 3 is for your antenna on and off. Then number 4 is for your O2HU generator, turn that on and off. Onto tab number 3, this is for our custom weapons where we can take manual control over these. Where you can see number 1, we can then take over our assault cannons. I believe I called them AUG cannons earlier, I always get them mixed up. Now we come out of that into number 2, there we go, we fire all of them. Out of that into number 3. And into number 5. There we go, those are the autocannons. Then out of that and into number 6, once again, the autocannons. Coming out of that and over to tab number 4, we then got controls for our railguns, doors, and camera at the front. So pressing number 1, we now see our camera at the very front, so we see our doorways, we see both the railguns. Pressing number 2, then close it up in case we want to have that additional protection. And out of that and pressing number 2, then take over our railguns, and then just mouse click, and fire them both together. Onto tab number 5, 6, and 7, we've got nothing else. It's time to hop out of this, come over to tab number 1, and actually fly this thing around. So moving forwards, this is what we get. As you'd expect, we are bloody fast thanks to all of those thrusters. Moving left, and moving right, a surprising amount of speed with that, look at that. Then moving down, and then moving up. Surprisingly, out of all the ships I've ever showcased, this one feels slower moving up than anything else. But at the end of the day, it is very well balanced in all directions, should prove very good in combat. As for gyroscope controls, is a complete different story. This thing is exceptionally heavy to move around, so you're going to be heavily reliant on your turrets to do most of the work. You're not going to be able to do a quick 180 to flip around and face enemies via the railguns. You're going to need to drive this thing strategically in order to actually deal maximum damage. But as for that, now the only thing left to do is to fly over to the naval mines, where if I put my signals on, we see them right in the distance. So what I'm going to do is now just come into this and select everything and give it to the space pirates. Oh, not that one, I want the one below it. There we go. So now when I get into the cockpit and fly towards them, they're all going to splinter off and start to bombard the ship. If you saw the previous video, you can see just how destructive these mines actually are. But what we are going to test, how well these guns are going to handle it. So what I want to do is to make sure that it's turned off so we no longer have to see that. There we go. And now, I'm going to come over to the camera and actually see what's going on. So looking ahead there, you can see all the naval mines. Each one of them has 4 missiles that's going to activate anytime now. And there we go, you see the first set has splintered off, and they're going to very slowly just work their way towards me. So what I'm going to do is now come back into this and hide the HUD. We're just going to wait for the missiles to come over and towards me. In fact, what I'm going to do is now just put the HUD on once again, move this a little bit closer, and try and find out where that ship has gone. There it is. So now hiding in the HUD once again, there goes all the guns. We can see a quick burst of the assault cannons. But it looks like it's not going to be enough. They are going to start bombarding the front of the ship. So here comes all the missiles. That's doing very quick work of the ship. And yes, that's basically to be expected. But my god, look at all of them. I did forget how many I spawned in, but I made very quick work of the poor Operant V. But at the end of the day, in serious combat against another large ship, this will do fantastic. Means all the custom guns on there and will deal one hell of a lot of damage. Against these small little targets where it can be absolutely swarmed, it's going to get completely destroyed as you saw. For what it is and the purpose of the ship, it does very well and it looks fantastic. So there'll be a link to the description below if you wish to download and play around with it yourself. Highly recommend you do. There'll also be links to the Skybox I'm currently using. I believe it's called Hubblegum. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.